Well, folks, I'm already back in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, after a little excursion to the north and then into Thailand for 2 days. A little vacation, 2-day vacation. Did not upload, did not vlog, so that was nice. Yeah, back here in Bukit Bintang area, people keep asking me why I continue to come back to Kuala Lumpur and why I'm not choosing other places in Malaysia instead. Or even another country. And there's a couple reasons, but in general, every time I come back here, I just quickly realize I feel quite comfortable and I have everything that I need. And that's not exactly the case everywhere I go in Malaysia. You know, not having a car and walking everywhere, it only really works very well in Kuala Lumpur. When I try to do the same thing in other areas, it's a little bit hit or miss, you know. If you've been following my journey, you can see sometimes it's not so smooth, you know, especially with like my food allergies and being particular about what foods I can eat. Kuala Lumpur really has a little bit of everything and in a small area, so I can actually get to it. If I can't walk there, I can take a train, I can get there, you know. So yeah, every time I come back here, it just reminds me very quickly why I like it and why I like staying here more than anywhere else in Malaysia so far. Now, I get that it's not for everyone, especially because every time I leave Kuala Lumpur, I go to a smaller area, smaller town, or even somewhere like Penang, and I talk to the locals, you know, I talk to a taxi driver or I meet people there. And I tell them I spend most of my time in Kuala Lumpur. They don't usually have the same love for it that I do. They usually tell me they don't like it. And I think that's just a difference of like a city person and a non-city person. You know, people who don't live here, people who don't choose the big city are people who it's not for them, you know, they don't like living in the city. I think the same thing goes back home for me, like New York City. You go an hour outside of the city, 2 hours outside of the city, and you tell people you're from NYC or that you like living in the city, they'll quickly say like, oh no, it's not for me, or oh, it's too crazy for me, or something like that. And I think the same thing applies here. You know, I think the smaller town folks, or maybe the people who didn't grow up in KL, never really spent a lot of time in the city, they don't really feel super comfortable here. That's what I've noticed. That's from talking to people. Whereas me, you know, I think being from New York City, being from Philadelphia, it's like I'm used to the city, and I don't have a vehicle, and I'm walking everywhere. I'm taking the train. So it's the only place that really has the infrastructure for my current lifestyle, you know? So that's why I keep coming back. You know, that's the baseline reasons. Yeah, otherwise it's an awesome city. It's great. It truly has everything. And so, yeah, I'm thinking about spending the next week or so here. Slow down my travel a little bit. Get some routine again. You know, I can go to the gym. You know, I have a gym here. I spend 6 ringgit, just over $1 for a daily pass. I haven't found that elsewhere. And yeah, I've not been able to keep consistent with going to the gym and traveling. It's very difficult. So I need to plant myself down for at least just 1 week and get some routine going. But it's been really cool traveling around the country, and I'm going to continue to do so. Also, Vietnam series coming soon as well. For now, yeah, planting myself in KL, I think it's a good move. I would love to stay here even for 1 month and book like a 1-month accommodation. I'm a little bit hesitant. I just don't know if I can do content here every day for 1 month straight. I think I could do it better than anywhere else, you know, other than a city like Bangkok or another crazy kind of hectic city. But still, I think it gets stale, or I think it gets harder for me to keep making content every day after all that time. So we'll see. I'll stay at least 1 week. And if it feels like, hey, I can keep making content here very easily and I'm really enjoying the routine, maybe I'll stay in KL for 2 weeks. You know, it's up in the air. But as of now, the plan, 1 week, and then we will move onward to another destination. A lot of you keep telling me to slow travel, stop traveling so quickly. And I am traveling quickly, yes, but some of these smaller places, these smaller towns, I only really intend to go for 1 day. You know, I don't really want to stay there more than that. I can't get around easily, harder for me to eat food, and so, yeah, for the most part, the only place I really want to stay for extended periods of time is the big city like this. Maybe Penang as well. Penang is also easy for me to get around, easy for me to eat food. But yeah, again, I can't make content in Penang every day for a long time. It gets difficult, you know. KL, I can do more topical stuff. I can find different parts of the city to explore, and it just becomes easy. Oh, we got 6 seconds here. Okay. Sometimes that light goes so quickly that just turned green. Anyways, yeah, you got to really be quick here in KL with the lights. But yeah, that's why I'm here again. That's why I'm back, and that's the plan going forward. So yeah, let's figure out where I'm going. I'm gonna drop in KLCC Park. It's been a while since I've been over there. Just have a little walk around and chill. It's not too hot today. It's actually a little bit cooler today. The sun is not like out blazing, so I started to really like this area. I started to really like KLCC and Bukit Bintang. I think these are the best areas to stay. And now I decided to stay in condos instead of hotels. I can't do the hotels anymore nonstop, you know. When I travel, when I really am on the move, I will do hotels. But if I'm planting myself here for a week, better to just stay in a condo, have a kitchen, and I even like staying over here better than KL Central where I usually stay. It's a better vibe over here, to be honest. As accessible as it is over there in KL Central, like, it's just better over here, especially like in Bukit Bintang. I mean, this is more like KLCC, so a little bit more spread out, a little bit more skyscrapers and stuff, but I've learned to really like it. I don't know, it's comfortable, it's clean, there's sidewalks everywhere. You have KLCC Park, and there's tons of food just like outside of KLCC. You can get to a lot of good food, I should say. You can also order a lot of good food on Grab. So the convenience is there, that's what I should say. Really high convenience level. Initially, when I first arrived to Malaysia and I was in this area, I don't know, I wasn't in love with it at first. It just felt like, oh, this is maybe a bit soulless, these big skyscrapers, and yeah, I don't know, it's too modern, it felt. I wanted to get the real Malaysia, and I didn't think that this was it, you know. But now, hello. Now I very much like it. And so, yeah, things change. As you acclimate to an area, as you stay in an area longer, and you get to know the food places, you get to know the feeling of it, can change very quickly. That's why I tried not to judge too much when I first arrived somewhere, because I know my feelings can change completely the opposite of what my first impression is. Now, my first impression of Malaysia, of Kuala Lumpur, was very good. It was a much better impression than I thought. You know, coming over here, I actually had no expectations, and yeah, I never thought it would be somewhere that I would stay more than a couple days to a week and then go back to Thailand. That was always my initial plan, was like, this is a visa run. I need to reset my visa. Malaysia is a cheap trip, a cheap flight from Thailand. So let's go there for a few days. Let's see how it is, you know? And that turned into me staying for a month and then 2 months, you know, and now I've essentially been here around 2 months, and I'm spending most of my time here. As much as I don't actually live here, I don't really live, I guess, anywhere technically at this moment. It's the closest thing I have to like a home base and a long-term place. So yeah, Kuala Lumpur is like my home at the moment, even if it's not my official residence, you know. And that's could change at any time, you know, but I think for now I'm gonna keep moving around, keep traveling. So many countries I want to see. It's so difficult for me. I have so much decision fatigue trying to figure out the next plan, where to go. It's very difficult. More than anything, it's like the most difficult part of this whole job is figuring out the details and actually booking somewhere, figuring out the hotels, and making a decision. I'm not good at making decisions. This is a nice little spot here. Wow. Some really nice apartment buildings, some really nice condo buildings here, like in the KLCC area. And I've had mixed results with like booking condos and Airbnbs, and that's why I was doing hotels. That's why I switched back to hotels for so long, because I was having mixed feelings about some of the places I would book. The linens would be not clean. The aircon didn't work, and various things. The smell in the bathroom, or difficulty checking in because you have to like meet up with somebody and get the key. And so if I'm checking in somewhere for one day, I don't really want to deal with a lengthy check-in process. And sometimes when you check out, they're not there to actually give you your deposit back. They take 250 ringgit deposit. And sometimes they want to send it to you like a week or two later. And I had an instance where they wanted to send it only by like Malaysian bank, and I had no way to get the deposit back. So I never got it. And then I tried to get it back since I arrived, and they didn't answer me. So stuff like that is the reason that I chose hotels. But the condos are definitely a much nicer lifestyle. It's you have a pool, you have a sauna, you actually have some space instead of just like a little hotel room. You have amenities. It feels like a real home a little bit more, at least. So I'll probably stick in the condos here on out whenever I can. Just for the like 1 day and 2 day stays and stuff, I'll book a hotel. But a lot of affordable condos here, similarly priced to hotels. And so that's a nice thing. And if you really want to rent monthly, then you can get something very affordable, and there's a lot more options as well. But my next plan is, as I said before, Vietnam has been on the agenda for a while. I just haven't been able to pull the trigger and actually get there yet. But it seems the most feasible for me. Like Indonesia is possible too, and quite close to Malaysia. But I'm afraid, I'm just afraid I'm not going to enjoy myself as much traveling through Indonesia. I don't know why. And it's going to cost me a little bit more money. So I'm putting it on the back burner. I will be going to Indonesia at some point, exploring more of the country instead of just Bali like I've been to. And Vietnam is my next plan. And of course going to Borneo, Sarawak and Sabah. Definitely I'd like to get there within the next month or so. So whenever I find like a good price flight and I can put the pieces together, I'm gonna book something. And so Vietnam, Sabah, Sarawak, those are the next on my agenda. It took me long enough to make that decision and figure it out. As much as I just went to Thailand for 2 days. Like I crossed the border in the north. If you didn't see my vlogs, crossed the border in the north from Malaysia on foot. And I decided just stay there for 2 days, relax. And I was considering moving on to like Bangkok, or just traveling around Thailand a little bit. But I just feel like I spent enough time in Thailand, and I feel like the views on YouTube will not be as strong. I feel like people are a little bit less interested, at least my followers, my Malaysian followers, less interested in seeing Thailand than other places. So I'd like to know where you folks, Malaysian folks, would like me to visit other than just Malaysia. Because I will be staying in Malaysia a lot of the time, but I want to see other countries too. And so I want to know what countries and cultures are you actually interested in watching besides Malaysia content, if any. I know some of you maybe only want to watch Malaysia content. I get that. But to those who are interested in other countries and seeing other cultures, you know, let me know in the comments, where are you interested in? The poll that I ran was pretty unanimous. Vietnam. People want to see Vietnam. So, and I want to go there quite badly. That's why I chose it. Because of the poll, and yeah, because it's been on my list for a while. But yeah, let me know, folks. A lot of street art over here. That's one thing that you get in Malaysia, is a ton of street art. Not really any specific style, but you will see a lot of graffiti. I don't know if they actively like remove graffiti in the city or if they just kind of let it fly on spots like this. I wonder how often this is removed and people put up new stuff. But I know I've seen graffiti pretty much everywhere, whether in like the nice part of town or, you know, the lesser like developed, the lesser modern areas. Definitely a ton of graffiti over there too. And you always have like these random spots where it's like barbed wire and then like nothing there. It's like private property, but there's nothing there. You see that constantly. I don't know if people are gonna end up building stuff or if it's just, is it in limbo? Like people are waiting to figure out what to do with it, or if people are maybe have it for sale. I don't know, but I see that constantly. All right, I'm almost to KLCC Park. A bit of a trek getting there. I haven't been over there in a long time. One of my first videos was in KLCC Park, and I don't think I've been there since then. I haven't really stayed in the area that often, but you can see it. This is where you start seeing tons of condos, many different condos. So pretty cool. I think it's just for show. Platinum Park Sky Views. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't know if you can go up there and get views, but it looks like a commercial building to me, so not sure. This place getting a real makeover. Been seeing this place getting a makeover for a long time now. Platinum Park. Gloria Jean's Coffees. Such like a popular place, and I've never heard of it outside of here. We definitely either don't have those in America or they're not very popular, because I see them constantly here. Gloria Jean's. And yet I've never once thought to try it. Yeah, I don't know. We know Starbucks. I mean, of course people here love Starbucks too. There's like a love-hate thing with Starbucks and people. It's like people want to hate it because it's like a big, huge chain. So people are on this trend of like, you know, Starbucks sucks, or, you know, go find some like real coffee kind of thing. What's this? But to me, it's like, Starbucks is fine. It's not gourmet and it's not special, but it's fine. You know, it doesn't, just people like make it out to be like it tastes terrible, like it's awful, it's the worst thing ever, it's so overpriced. Yeah, it's pricey, it's a chain, it's like, it's just what it is. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. You know, again, like you can find way better gourmet coffee around it if you really look for a proper cafe. Sure. I think if you're near like a proper cafe, then yeah, don't go to Starbucks. But if it's there and you want your coffee, or you want some kind of drink, whatever mixed like sweet beverage that they sell there, yeah, go for it. Go for it. It's so funny to see the trend now of like hating on Starbucks. And then there's people who are like diehard Starbucks fans. To me, I think I'm just indifferent. I think it's like, yeah, it's fine. Okay, third time in a row I made a wrong turn getting to this park and went completely the wrong way. God, sometimes when I'm filming and instead of navigating myself where I need to go, I just end up talking and I don't pay attention to where I'm going. And I end up going the other direction, and then I end up frustrated. Okay, I think I finally found the way that I need to go. Oh my God. Finally made it to the elusive KLCC Park. God, it took me so much longer than it should have. But that's just kind of how things go for me at this point. You guys know that. I've made videos walking across the entire city to get somewhere. And people keep commenting. To this day, people comment, oh, you're an idiot, or you can take the train. Like, what are you doing? I know that, folks. I know that. Now, I've been here 2 months. I definitely know how to take the trains and get around places. But I still walk, I still continue to walk. Just how it goes. If I can walk 20 minutes somewhere, especially, I'm gonna do it. Sometimes 30 minutes, I'll just do it. It's just how I roll. But people will continue to comment telling me that there's better ways to get around. I know, folks, I know you're just trying to help me, but I think it's really funny at this point. I posted a video that was like the Borneo festival they did in Kuala Lumpur. I made the title, is this Borneo or Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia? And what I meant by that is, like, obviously I know it's not actually Borneo. I know I wasn't actually filming in Borneo. Some of the comments were saying, like, are you stupid? You don't know that Borneo is separate from Kuala Lumpur? You don't know that Borneo consists of Sabah and Sarawak? Sometimes it's just like the language, I think. There's a little bit of a language barrier. Even though everyone speaks fine and good English, I think with something like that, understanding what I mean with a title like that, it's not to be taken literal. Like, I didn't know I was filming in Kuala Lumpur, of course. It's not actually Borneo. But I think some of the things I say, it goes over someone's head, or they take it differently. They don't understand. It was just really funny. People really thought that I was very ignorant and that I just had no idea what I was saying. And I was truly asking, like, is this Borneo? Or what is this? That's not what I meant. It is funny though. It's hilarious. KLCC Park. This is really nice. This is really nice. I've been to a lot of parks at this point here, but there is something nice about this park. You get a really nice breeze over here. It's never that busy. Like, today is a Sunday and it's not ultra hot out. And it's like 1 o'clock or so, and still, like, it's not busy at all. I feel like you will never see a park here busy. I've yet to see it. I've been to so many parks. I'll go at all different times. Most of the time, I'm the only one there. Now, of course, this is like the most popular park, so we're not the only person, but there's not very many people. It's just such a contrast to go into a park in the United States on like a peak time, on a weekend, on a Sunday. Like, it would be slammed, especially like the kids area. There would be hundreds of kids, tons of families. So it's interesting. Like, it's lively out here. It's nice atmosphere, but it's not busy. It's not crowded. I think that's a good thing. Nobody wants swarms of people when they're trying to hang out or find a spot to sit down or whatever it is. But yeah, it's common where, like, in New York, you're not gonna be able to find a place to sit. You're not gonna be able to get a bench. You're gonna have to kind of wait until something's available. Now, of course, in New York, there's gonna be homeless people sitting on those benches and stuff like that too. But that's a different story. Kuala Lumpur obviously has its own homelessness issue as well, a pretty bad homelessness issue. But I think not as much in this area, not like too bad in this area. But it did surprise me just how many homeless people are here and how much of an issue it actually is in this city. It's just not what you would think of when you think of Malaysia, but it's mostly like foreign, like mostly immigrants who are here and homeless. To my understanding, if you are Malay, you get a lot of assistance. Like, they don't really let their people go homeless and hungry too easily here. So for the most part, if you're seeing that, it's foreigners. Because in a couple of my videos, there has been like a beggar, or, you know, I've mentioned, or I've walked by like a homeless area, maybe more towards Chinatown, Brickfields, those areas. And yeah, you know, people will be very quick to comment that, hey, that is not like a Malay person, that is not a Malaysian person in general. Because I think that people here are very proud of the fact that, you know, there's not too many actual Malaysians homeless, and, you know, people just want to point out the difference pretty quickly of their people versus the foreigners here, the immigrants here. Same with like the workers not speaking English. Like, people very quickly want to point out, like, that is not a Malaysian person that you're speaking to. Because they want you to know, they want me to know, they want people to know that actual Malaysians speak English, and that's how it should be. And I think they get frustrated as well when going to places and maybe you can't communicate in English, because it's just 80% migrant workers, you know. And that happens like constantly here. That is like the norm. I would say more places I go to are foreign workers than Malaysian workers. Like, most of the places I go and try to order food, I can't properly order food. It's like pretty much every single place. You know, and as much as it's very English speaking here, the bulk of my time spent like speaking English in public with people is like out at a restaurant or at places ordering food. And in those places, they don't understand English. And so it's a little tricky. It's a little bit annoying, but that's just how it goes. You know, I think the locals, they don't want those jobs. They don't want jobs waiting tables or cleaning dishes or serving people, stuff like that. And so typically it's not the locals working. And that's just how it goes. You know, that's just something you have to kind of accept about the country. But it's a real thing. It's a real thing. You know, I try and get interaction with locals in my videos, and I'd say 80% of the time I end up getting interactions with foreigners who maybe to me look like a local, but they're not. They're from Bangladesh, they're from Myanmar, they're from somewhere else. They're from somewhere else, and they don't speak English. So it just depends what neighborhood you're in for the most part. And that's one of the reasons as much as I don't mind like the KL Central Brickfields area, at the end of the day, there's so many foreigners there. There's so many like immigrants there, illegal immigrants, and just more so than actual Malaysians. And that's not what I want. You know, I don't really care where somebody's from or this or that, but like when it dominates the population, or it becomes like the only people that I'm interacting with, then it's like, okay, I think I need to find a different area. And so that's why it was even refreshing to stay in like Chao Kit, Kampong Baru, like very refreshing, because I was actually meeting Malay people and meeting all types of Malaysian people. And the people I would meet when I'm eating out at a restaurant, they would be Malaysian. It's just how it goes. And it's not like that in Brickfields. So yeah, I definitely prefer some of these areas for that reason. Now, Bukit Bintang, KLCC, a lot of foreigners as well, but more so tourists, which is, to me, I also don't want to be in an area with all tourists. So if I can find that mix, I'm pretty happy. I think Bukit Bintang, and then going further north toward like Chao Kit and Kampong Baru, somewhere in that range of neighborhoods is like the sweet spot. This is cool. I don't really remember very much about this park, considering I've only been here one other time. I almost don't even remember these fountains. There's a chance that they weren't going off like this last time I came here. Huh. I never even went inside the mall, the Surya Mall, which is supposed to be one of the nicest. I kind of overlooked it last time. I think let's just stop in and see how it is. I could get some AC as well, would feel really good. So just see what it's like in there. I wonder if they have a food court too. This is probably the busiest area that I've seen. And that's because people taking photos with the fountain is like such a popular thing, you know. Probably this mall too is probably a little bit busy. Yeah, I don't ever really see this many people congregating in one area here. But you know, it's a Sunday afternoon. Again, it's pretty cool outside, so if there's ever a time, it should be the time where people are out and about with their families and friends. Yeah, this Surya KLCC. Let's go in here. As much as it's not that hot, it's still sweltering hot, you know? So, as cool as it gets here, it's still very hot. I'm still sweating profusely. People always ask me how I'm not sweating in the like midday, walking outside and talking to the camera. Believe me, I am sweating. If you don't see it, it's because every time I cut the camera, I'm wiping my face, my head with sweat. And if I'm really, really sweating that bad, I will go inside and get some air conditioning, and then I will continue the recording. But like, trust me, I'm always sweating in a big way. Seemingly more than locals. Maybe it's just because I'm outside more, but yeah, I can't escape it. I probably change my shirt at least once in a day. You know, I'm at least wearing 2 shirts a day. If not, sometimes 3 if I'm really out there in the sun. But this is a nice mall. Huge. Really modern, of course. Wow. So many floors. I feel like there's a lot of shopping in here, like higher end shopping, but also like a ton of regular stores too. Wow, okay. Just as I mentioned, it's not like that busy anywhere. This is the busiest place I've been so far in my entire 2 months in the country. In the same video as me saying it's not busy. Ooh, some Louis Vuitton. Yeah, see high-end stuff. Bottega Veneta, Bulgari, Versace. That's what it is in here. I bet the food court is pretty good then. In general, a huge mall. Probably a decent food court. I know the Pavilion food court was good. I gotta say, Pavilion food court was my favorite food court so far in Malaysia. I've tried a couple. Most of the malls I come to, I tend to make an effort to try the food court. Because they're usually good. They're usually quite good. Yeah, and it's convenient. I think especially if you live near the mall, live near a place. Like, I don't know, there's something about just popping in and grabbing food at the food court in a nice air conditioning place that feels good. You know? The question is it on the bottom or on the top floor? I'm gonna have to ask somebody about that. Hi, do you know where the food court is? Where can I find a food court to eat? Food court.
Oh, you can just go 1, 2, 3 level up.
3 level up.
And then in the middle.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Nice, 3 levels up. So we're on the ground floor. You know, the floors tend to confuse me, of course, because it's a ground floor, even though it should be the first floor. Very silly, but... okay, so I think the first, the second, I think the third floor then would be the food court. Let's see. Okay, it's actually on the 4th floor. It says dining. As we get here, I mean, we can see right away some restaurants. Let's see. Let's explore this whole floor. I bet there's a mix of restaurants, then I bet there's a food court as well. Let's see. Have the Oriental Kopi. Seen that place around as well. No shortage of coffee places here. I mean, I don't think, maybe Kopi does not mean coffee, but I think it does. I think it does. Anyways, yeah, you see coffee places everywhere. Madame Kwan's, I've seen that place a couple times too. I've seen it at a Pavilion. I think it's like Malay food, but it's It's a chain. That's my understanding. Very busy, really busy. I know the ratings were high on Google. That's why I remember it. Also, shrimp noodle bar. Umami bomb shrimp broth noodle. You know, one thing I haven't had here since I arrived is like hot pot. Hot pot or, you know, like shabu. Something where I'm cooking meats for myself, basically. Because that's something that I can eat. You know, all these food allergies I have, I can eat some meat, veggies, and soup. And so hot pot is always possible for me. What's this? Some sweets. Oh, it's called childhood. Look at that. Relive your childhood fantasies of eating candy. Okay, it looks extremely busy over here. We gotta check this out, see what this is. So is this to go up like the tower, potentially? Because it is something where you pay like an admission. You buy a ticket. I'm not really sure. Could ask somebody. There's just so many people. Let me ask one of these volunteers. Hello, sir. What is this for exactly? What is it? Science Museum. Ah, okay. Thank you. Thanks. Science Museum. Okay. I weirdly thought it was like to go up the towers. But no, Science Museum. That's cool. Makes sense why there's a bunch of kids. I mean, not that I wouldn't mind checking out a science museum as well, but typically kid activity, right? You know, most of the museums I should say that I've been to were when I was younger. But I like a museum. If it's good, if it's really good, I will go and check it out. Like in New York, we have some really good museums. I mean, really, it's worth checking out. We have like the Natural History Science Museum, very good. The Met, you know, very good. You know, different art exhibits and galleries can be worth going to, but otherwise, I'm not like a huge museum guy. I don't travel to a city and immediately like go to the local museum. It's just not me. A couple bookstores over here, like some serious bookstores, and back there as well, more books. So yeah, let's walk this way, see if we can find some more food options. We have Nadia, I assume that's how you say it. Oh, what is this? It's like a durian pie. Wow, durian cheesecake almost. God, that looks good. Crepe, maybe it's a crepe. I've still yet to try the local durian. I've yet to try Malaysian durian. I've had somebody tell me that next month is the month to try it when it becomes ripe and it's the best to eat. So maybe I wait, or you know, if I really just pass by it, maybe I'll just grab some and try it. I would like to try it when it's ripe and it's, you know, its best version of itself. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see a food court over here. You know, this is kind of the end of the floor. We have a TGI Fridays. Trust me, I know all about TGI Fridays. It's a real American brand, if I've ever seen one. But yeah, no proper food court that I've seen. Now, this is probably the third video where I've like looked for a food court and had difficulty finding it, you know. So I'm gonna ask somebody right away. I'm gonna say, is there an actual food court here? Because this floor is just restaurants. It's not what I want. It's not what I want. I mean, there's other spots to go. Yeah, okay, you know what? Let's try checking out the other wing or the other section. It says there's a Healthland, which is like, you know, a shop, pharmacy shop. Doesn't sound like there's a food court over here. No chance. Not even a little chance. Yeah, it's this guy. Hey sir, I have a question. Do you know if there's an actual food court here? Like a... I don't know. No, okay. See, I don't even know if he didn't seem to understand me. And he had a TGI Friday shirt on. I don't think he understood me because he just started smiling immediately and shaking his head no. Sometimes people do that when they just don't speak English. I don't know. We'll ask another person more fit for the question, I suppose. But as of now, I'm just seeing, yeah, there's a chance that it would be on the very bottom, right? But because there was one floor down that I could have went when I first entered as well. I don't know. Folks, I don't know. It's a little Penang cafe here. Excuse me, is there an actual food court here? Level 2. Ah, okay, thank you very much. Level 2. Alright, well, to level 2 we go. I mean, I swear that the first person I asked said go up 3 levels. Maybe they thought I was looking for restaurants. Did I say food court? I don't know, I have to go back and look at the footage, but... Wow, another American chain, Chili's. And it's absolutely packed. Absolutely full in there. I mean, Chili's not bad, but it's not great either. Same with TGI Fridays. It's like, I don't know, for us it's like some very baseline chain restaurants. Food. I grew up going to these kind of places, but it's like before I had better food. That's how I feel. Maybe it's just a little bit more interesting if you're from here. You know, again, go in, get some air conditioning in the mall, just sit down and eat, but it's not that proper. It's fine, it's all right. That's my thoughts on Chili's and TGI Fridays. Okay, now we've definitely found what we were looking for, right? Right off the bat. Food court. There's a Malay spot right here. Looks like some like rendang and some like thicker, rather sweet curries, I would imagine. As much as I like the Malay style food, it tends to be sweet. The curries tend to be sweet. You know, and if I go for like the Indian Muslim, if I go for more like nasi kandar, they tend to be less sweet. It's just the truth. Not everywhere. Some of the nasi kandar places do sweeten the food, and I immediately don't want it. But typically not. Typically the curries that are not the sweet curries, you know, like the spicy curry, the chili, yeah, they're not usually too sweet. No sugar, or very little sugar. But let's see, what do we have here? No. Fresh delights. Fresh watermelon. Fresh salads. Alright, let's check over here, see what we have. Looks like a Vietnamese place. And a ramen spot as well. Let's see, My Viet's. Vietnamese cuisine. No, I don't do that well with Vietnamese cuisine either, to be honest. A lot of sugar in Vietnamese cuisine, a lot of soy. I feel like when I go to Vietnam, it's going to be a problem, you know? I'm going to have to get my own kitchen as well. See, like, I can definitely eat some, like, oysters. Fresh fish and chips. You know, probably a lot of fried fish. I always get it not fried, though. Fish is always a safe bet for me, too. It's not really food court food, you know? Like, fresh fish is not food court food. A dragon restaurant. Oh, a Dragoni restaurant. Huh. No pork. No pork. Be tough pressed to find pork out here, I'll say that. I just went to Thailand for 2 days and I ate only pork every meal because I don't eat it while I'm here. I don't eat any pork. And so when I do have a lot of pork around, it's like, okay, I'm gonna eat it. There's a sushi place over here that we could consider. Let's see. Genki Sushi. Lobster Feast. No, I would be looking for like sashimi. Maybe we look at a menu and we see. Let's check it out. I don't really see a menu here, unfortunately. Hey, do you have a menu? I like the way it's set up here. Just like sitting there facing the wall. I kind of like that. Thank you, sir. Just gonna take a look right here. So they do have a lot of sashimi. I'd be looking for like I'd say a mixed sashimi platter of some sorts. Okay, so trio sashimi, salmon, hokagai, and hotate. It's very small, 27 ringgit. Now I would need something a little bigger than that. That's the reality here. Dang, they have to have like a family sashimi platter for 2 or something, which is what I would usually get. I mean, it's a huge menu. I feel like I already went past the sashimi. Set meal. Okay, let's see. Set meal. Not really too heavy on the sashimi here. So my options would be just like choosing. Yeah, see, it's too expensive when you do it like that. If I just wanted to get as much sashimi as I need to get full. No. This is the only like sashimi platter, unfortunately. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. No, I am actually craving some like good sashimi, but it's not the place to get it. I have to get it where I can order it in like a meal. It's the only way to make it like cost efficient and enjoyable. You know, otherwise I'm ordering like 30 pieces of a la carte sashimi and it's not manageable on the budget. I don't think I'm gonna get anything at this food court, to be honest. I just wanted to check it out and see what the options were. I didn't eat today, so I do need to eat something, but I'll save it. I'll have something else. I think there are better food courts out there, huh? Maybe just for me, for my taste, but I think the Pavilion food court definitely beats this food court, in my opinion. And I don't know, maybe I'd have to actually try something here. You know, maybe that Malay spot's not bad. Maybe I'll go to Chili's. I won't. Coffee bean and tea leaf. That's something you see all the time here. I feel like it's just as popular as Starbucks here. People love it. Look at this. It's like the hot spot right now. I thought there was another one, but I think it's the same one, to be honest. Okay, well, that's a nice check out the mall. At least I cooled down a little bit as well. I think I'm going to end the vlog here too. Thanks for watching today. Drop a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Of course, I had to stop in for some nasi kandar as well. I mean, I was nearby. Nasi kandar Pelita. Great spot. The one in KLCC is really good. So anytime I'm nearby, just have to stop.